Thanks for staying tuned. It's time to talk money. And for all of the money talks now, it must be said that most Nigerians are just trying to delve into, different businesses to acquire multiple streams of income. But there are certain mistakes that shouldn't be made in the, process of starting a business or engaging in one, or rather investing in one, as it were. Now, joining us to discuss common mistakes that businesses should avoid, especially for startups, is the director of the Dr. Triple A company, Mr. Ayeni. And good morning, welcome to the show.
Adeni Atiba, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you, Samson. Thank you, Bolali, for having me on the show. Good morning.
Yes, of course, we know that when it comes to business, there are certain mistakes that one should avoid, especially if you're a starter, you're just starting a company, you want to ensure that you do not make some mistakes. Let's touch on some of these mistakes and then see where the conversation goes from there.
Awesome, awesome. You know what? To make things easy, I'm just going to wrap it all up and say in one word that the major reason why a lot of startup businesses fail is because they don't plan properly. They don't have a proper plan. They've not thought things through, on paper and all those things. And what I just said now we can now start to now expand it gradually. And I'm just going to just talk briefly on that quickly. When I say that people, there's this popular saying that says that if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Mm-hmm. And it's really not a cliche. It's very real. And it's something I've also experienced over the years. You see, when you are planning, what happens to you is that you gather information. You start to ask questions. Okay. You begin to ask people, okay, what happens in this industry? Who are the people who are doing well in this industry? And some of these things. But people, I've noticed that one of the greatest weaknesses that human beings have is that they don't think. People can talk, but they don't think. So that is a major thing. Now, so let's look at some of these areas where people don't think well, especially when they are startups, before they start. Number one is that as the owner of the business, you need to start to ask yourself questions about what are your flaws. People don't know their own flaws. In business we call it founders' flaws, and these flaws will show up in your business. So if you are weak in an area and you don't complement that weakness by hiring somebody, get somebody on board who can actually fill in that gap, it is just a matter of time before that business fails. That's number one. Two is that a lot of businesses do not define their mission clearly. People want to just make money. No! Business, yes, should be profitable. But if you don't have the right why before you start that business, in a matter of 2 to 5 years, you will fizzle out as a business. You must have a proper mission. What is the mission? Why does this business exist? Why do we exist? That is the same thing you will hammer into the mind of your team members. And that's what will keep people pushing on. I have a mentor who has had the same staff for 25 years. They've been with her. It's amazing. They've grown with her and they never left the organization. Why? Because they understand the why. They buy into the vision and they keep on working. And you see, when you have the proper team, your business will keep on working. You can have the best structure, but if you don't have the right people, you're in trouble. Which takes me to the next one. People don't have the right team from scratch. I subscribe to what Mark Zuckerberg said, the founder of Facebook, or now Meta. He said something. He said, if I don't hire people I cannot work for. that was mind-blowing.
Interesting.
That's mind-blowing. He said, yes, I'm not going to relinquish my company to them, but if I don't see in them that potential that, say I was looking for a job, I can get a job from this person, I love to work for this person, I will never employ them. And that's so profound for me. What that means is very simple. It means that if you are not the best, no matter what, you say, I don't have enough money. Yes, you can collaborate from the beginning, but make sure that you have the right people on your team. Next up is a lot of startups don't have a defined product or service that they have from the beginning. And it's a lot of problem.
How so? How is it possible to go into business without having a defined product or service?
Oh yeah, so I'll give you a very good example. So somebody says, you know what, I'm an hairdresser now. Like, let's talk about service, and I'll talk about product.
Okay.
So somebody says, you know, I'm an hairdresser, but you see, that's a funny thing. So as an hairdresser, you want to go up into so many things. You want to make hair for kids. You want to make hair for the adults. You want to, you know, maybe what do you call it? Set and wash. Don't mind me. I'm not. I'm a guy.
Certain,
You know, I'm a guy. Don't mind me. So
it's okay.
you know, all those things. You know, you want to do that, but you see, a lot of them, from the very beginning, you want to do all that. It won't work that way. Start with a niche. Start somewhere. Define your product. Defining your product helps you to target an audience. Then from there, you can start building up. So this is a beautiful idea I always share with some hairdressers, you know, when we consult for them. For example, if you can start in an area and you notice that there are a lot of children there, it doesn't matter, start with the kids. Don't forget that the stakeholders are the mothers. They will bring their kids to the salon. While you are busy doing that and you are giving them the sweets and the biscuits and everything, the mothers, then they start to disturb you. I love the way you're treating my daughter's hair. What can you for adults? Oh yes, ma, we can do that. See what happens. You start to scale up gradually, and you know, so that helps. So define, that's for service. For product, let us ensure, and this has happened to me over the years, jumping from one product to the other, having too much of multiple products to start with. It brings confusion to the people who are buying from you. You are selling fish, you are selling brooms, you are selling kitchen accessories, you are only you alone. Abba. Start with something. When you define that, it really helps you. So that affects the business. And if you're not making enough sales, it's a matter of time before you pack up. So I hope that is clear.
Okay.
Let's move to the next.
You've spoken extensively on you know, mistakes that are seemingly administrative in nature. You talked about planning, not having a clear-cut mission, as well as not having the right team, which has to do with recruitment. So all of these are, you know, based on the administrative angle. For the capital angle, the capital aspect of businesses, what are the common mistakes that startups shouldn't make when it comes to, you know, capital?
Beautiful. Do you know that was actually my next? Well, that was supposed to be my seventh, because you know I was after products I was going to the registration of the business, which some people don't, and then the way you communicate your product and service to the people. The next one after that is cash flow, which you're talking about. Okay. Which is very, very important.
Let's not jump the gun then. Since you have an outline, you can just follow through.
Okay, all right, good. So I was, you know, after the product, then it's registration. A lot of businesses are not registered. I see you need money, and you say you need money. You want a grant. You don't have record. If you are not registered, you cannot get your TIN, which is your tax identification number, which means that you cannot even open a bank account. So how will corporate organizations patronize you when you don't have a bank account? And then you see serious people want to deal with people that have corporate accounts. They just don't want to send money to you, except you are highly skilled. You know, so it's good we register. And some people might have to even register with the EFCC or with your mothers. These things are so it limits your ability to do business. Next off is communication. How do you communicate to people? And which is a problem. So if you don't know how to communicate to people, oh, this is us, come and buy from us. You are not visible enough. You don't know how to show up on social media. You might just have to, like I said, from the beginning, it's a founder's flaw. It's a weakness you have. Get somebody who can do that for you. Because if that business does not know how to be visible, it's a matter of time before you fizzle out. So next off is that of the cash flow that you talked about. If you don't have records, how do I help you? You know, and then, you know, these things are very critical. One of the mistakes that people do, businesses do, startups do, is that they don't pay themselves salary. And it's just crazy. So this is what I advise. 30% of your profit should be paid as salary to you. Let it be consistent. What it does, number one, it drives your sales, because you know that if I don't sell, I won't collect salary. The mistake in me spending all of my profit is that I'm going to kill my business quickly, because it's a startup. What I'm supposed to do is to divert a lot of my profit back into the business so the business can grow. If the business is not growing, if it's not getting better in the way it serves people and all those things, I have problems, I have problems. So a lot of young startups like to, you chop and clean out. They just spend all the money. They don't know how to separate their business from their person.
Okay.
The money, yeah.
Let me just butt in here, please. You continue with your line of thought as quickly as possible. You talked about 30% of the profits going to the founder as salary or remuneration as well.
Exactly.
My question is this: oftentimes you've had financial coaches, like you, give a certain ratio of how much should be spent, maybe 30% on savings, 20% on transportation, and what have you. So if you're advocating that 30% of the profits should go to the founder as, remuneration, the remaining 70%, how do you then divide it? The one that will go to, what ratio goes to the back to the business, what goes to, miscellaneous and all of that?
Okay, beautiful. So you have the remaining 70%.
Yep.
Out of that 70%, 30% should go to your marketing.
Okay.
To market your business. Right? 30% should go to market your business. No matter what, never forget, if people don't know about you, they will not buy from you. It's very critical, very important. Out of the remaining 40%, understand that you need to invest in that business by buying equipment. It's very important. You must do that. So you find a way to do that and all those things. And then, of course, out of that 40%, also ensure that you're not owing. So, there are most businesses, and this is Nigeria, and in an typical African environment, what happens is that you're getting supply from people.
Yep.
If you are selling, you get supply from people. So out of that, make sure that at least you are paying something. Because you see, a lot of businesses don't even fully pay the 100%, but at least pay something out of that so that your supply will not dry up. It's just wisdom. So but that's what people don't do. They just, until I have the money. No. As you are getting it, pay something back. That's what gives your creditors the confidence that, this business might not be paying us 100%, but at least they're paying. So we can keep on doing that,
You mentioned communication as one of the mistakes that startups make. I want to believe that for proper or effective communication, then there is a place of training for you to be able to communicate, because different businesses have different communication styles that would pass the message across to the consumers.
Exactly. This is it, though. Everything I have mentioned, which then including the last one that I wanted to also mention, which is systems, everything, there are 8 of them. All of these things, as a business person, I expect that person should be in a continuous learning mode. Yes, I've been in this thing for 23 years, and I can tell you that every single year I don't stop. I keep on learning, I keep on developing, I keep on going. It doesn't matter if as I've consulted for people, I keep on learning too. This year, I've gone for 2 major trainings, and I've still done some online courses. You keep on developing. You must develop yourself. It's very critical. If you're not a lifelong learner, how will you cope? You either innovate or you die, because the world is moving forward. Technology is changing things and giving leverage. Years ago, it took us like 20 years to build a brand. Now it will take you 6 months to build a brand. If you can maximize technology, if you can leverage on technology appropriately, you will be at the forefront. People you don't know, all of a sudden you know them overnight. Why? Technology. It's a leverage. So we need to start to understand these things. We will only get there as we learn more, as we push ourselves out to learn. I've seen a friend who's had to travel out of the country several times to go learn. That's how life works.
So you're going to talk about systems before
Yes. Okay, beautiful. All right, so systems are very critical. There are 2 things that leaders need to survive. Number 1, learn to delegate. Number 2, learn to create systems. As a leader, as a business leader, if you don't know how to delegate things to people, you're in trouble. Why? You're going to break down. Systems will help you to become more effective. That's why the true definition of a business owner is somebody that actually owns a system, not a job. Most business owners today, they own a job. What it means is that if they're not there, the business will not work. You must learn to create a system that will work whether you are there or you are not. Systems are powerful. systems will save you. They will save you from stress. They will save you time. They will save you energy and save you money if you know how to put in the right systems.
So how do you go about putting in the right systems?
Awesome. Awesome. This is beautiful. Well, it's a long process. It takes time depending on your business and the industry that you are in. Okay. But these are the simple ways to do it. Number one, identify those major things that you do in your business that will make you do well. I put in the Pareto principle when I'm doing things. So there are few things that I do that will generate the most results in my business. It's just 20%.
Okay.
20% of activities. But there are 80% of things that if I'm distracted and I focus on, they only produce just 20%. I need to identify those vital few, those 20% that will bring forth that 80% results for me. So as a business owner, once I identify those things, those are the things I will build structures around.
Okay.
So one of them, like I said, it's marketing. Marketing includes advertising. It's not just advertising. It's more than that. It includes your brand. It includes some other things. The whole idea is to get the customer to become aware of you and to believe that you are the best in the area that you are. That's what marketing is about. If your marketing is properly done, sales is easy. So you should build systems around that. Who will do that? Who does the branding? Who maintains the contact with the customer? Who gets the feedback? How do you implement all those things? So I'm just taking one aspect now, and I'm trying to expand it. Okay. So you can take that point and then you start to build on it so that it becomes automated. So at a glance, you know who does what. And when the person does not do it, you can query them and say, you didn't do your job. So every week, there should be a system of feedback. There should be a report, right?
Yeah.
So that person is doing it, and then either way, whether you're there or not, there should also be somebody after you who can also monitor that process for you.
All right. Well, in wrapping up, is it possible to avoid these mistakes? Of course, you know how it is said that experience is the best teacher, but you can also learn from the experience of others without having to make those mistakes. So is it possible to avoid those mistakes by maybe following the example of those who have gone through the same field?
Very, very true. You know, a wise man said, a mentor mind said that mentors protect us from tormentors.
What a saying.
Do you understand? Mentors protect us from tormentors. And let me tell you, government policy can be a torment. Competitions can be a torment. Ignorance can be a torment. Abiru can be a torment. Because they can affect your business. Now, all these things you learn from mentors, people who have done it. Earlier this morning, around 1 a.m., because I wake up quite early, I was watching Nike Ogunlesi of Rough and Tumble, and I was listening to her, and she was sharing some deep things, and I was like, wow, only somebody who could have been in this position could have known these things. So it just makes sense. Follow the right people. If you follow the people that know the way, you will get to the right destination.
All right, that's a fine place to leave it. If you know the right people, that would get you to the right destination. Thank you so much, Adeni Yatiba.
Sorry, let me add this, that you don't just follow, don't just know them. Please do what they ask you to do.
Do what they ask you to do. Very important, because of course that is what would tell where you get to. Thank you so much, Adeni Atiba, Director of the Dr. AAA Company. Thank you for your thoughts this morning.
Thank you so much.